Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Rundown. We're going to go over the MLB games scheduled for Friday, May 6, 2022. Now, if you like what you see, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to leave a comment down below with what your baseball picks are for Friday. If you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pickdawgz.com in the Premium Picks tab. I'm running a daily $15 MLB best bet, so check that out at Pickdawgz Premium. Alrighty, here we go. Here are the games for Friday, May 6th. First up, we see the Los Angeles Dodgers taking on the Chicago Cubs. Now, in this one, like others for Friday's card, we don't see an official starter for the Cubs, and therefore we don't have an official line out yet for this game. That's going to be the case for 4 games for Friday's card as the time of me recording this now. Unfortunately, we're going to have to just give out some leans. Don't have a ton of information, but just bear with me for this Friday card. It's kind of a strange one, but for this particular game, the Dodgers, they're 6-5 on the road this season. Even though they played fantastic at home, it hasn't necessarily been the case on the road. Still above 500, but nowhere near dominant. The Cubs are going to be taking on Tyler Anderson here, so the Dodgers sending out Tyler Anderson for this game. He's pitched well this season, 2.55 ERA, but the strikeout numbers are down. It's kind of typical for him. He hasn't really been a strikeout guy the last few seasons. His xFIP is 3.67, which isn't too bad, but I do think that the Cubs are going to be able to get to him in this spot a little bit. At least to keep this game close. I'm not sure who the Cubs are going to be going on the mound or bringing to the mound for this contest, but as of late, the Cubs bullpen hasn't done too bad of a job, and they are top 15 in the league in team OPS against left-handed pitching. So I'm going to take a shot with the Cubs on the run line here. I think the Dodgers win this game, but by 1 run. So give me the 1.5 with Chicago. Next up, we see the Pittsburgh Pirates taking on the Cincinnati Reds. We're going to see JT Brubaker and Connor Overton as the starters for this contest. Now, I mentioned in yesterday's video, the Reds are basically an anti-fade right now for me until they can show me any kind of signs of life on both sides of the baseball. Whether it's been the starting pitching or the bullpen, the Reds are giving up a ton of runs. The offense has been inconsistent. For the most part, it's been pretty weak, but they are scoring a little bit more as of late. But I just can't take him in this spot. We're getting such a good price with Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh's the well better team right now. JT Brubaker has had his struggles this season, but I still think that he is one of the better options for the Pirates in that rotation. Connor Overton's pitched only 5 1/3 innings. He pitched well in that first start of the season, but got to see a little bit more from him until I'm going to take the Reds, especially, we're not getting any plus money with Cincinnati. Pirates are the minus 115 favorites, so give me Pittsburgh here and a lean on the road. Next up, we see the Texas Rangers taking on the New York Yankees with Glenn Otto and Garrett Cole as your probable starters. Now, we're going to see Glenn Otto, one of the Rangers' top pitching prospects, go at it in this one with Garrett Cole. Otto's pitched well this season. He's pitched 9 1/3 innings with a 2.89 ERA. He's got 10 strikeouts in those innings, which I like to see. A .96 whip as well. Last time out, we saw Otto struggle a little bit against the Astros. 4 1/3, 4 hits, 2 walks, a home run allowed, 2 earned runs. With the way the Yankees are playing, it's just really tough for me to get behind the dog in this game. I think the Yankees, they're steep favorites on the money line for a reason. Garrett Cole, he's had his inconsistencies, but as of late, he has pitched really well, and he's gotten his ERA down to 3 now. So I do think he's going to pitch well again in this spot. He hasn't given up an earned run in his last 12 2/3 innings. The strikeouts have been there for him as well. And, the Rangers have struggled quite a bit against right-handed pitching this season. I like them a lot better when they're facing lefties. So give me the Yankees on the run line in the Bronx. In our next game, we see the Kansas City Royals taking on the Baltimore Orioles. Carlos Hernandez and Jordan Lyles as your starters. Now, I really can't get behind either of these starting pitchers in this spot. I really tried to figure out a side in this game, but, with Carlos Hernandez struggling, he's not really missing any bats, only 4 Ks per 9 this season. ERA at 6, his expected ERA is above 6. Jordan Lyles, 4.5 ERA isn't too bad, but his expected or his advanced analytic numbers aren't great either. You look at both of these guys' baseball savant pages, a lot of things that they're struggling in this season. The lineups haven't been the strongest, but with these starting pitchers on the mound, I do think we see some offense. I think this game opens up a little bit, so I'm going to take the over here at Camden Yards between the Royals and Orioles. Next up, we see the New York Mets taking on the Philadelphia Phillies with Max Scherzer and Kyle Gibson as your starters. Now, the Mets are only a minus 135 favorite right now. I do expect that number to rise a bit as the night carries on into the morning as well, but it kind of looks like a trap line with the Mets, but that's all right. I mean, I can't pass up this kind of price with Max Scherzer. I know he struggled quite a bit last time against these Phillies, gave up 3 home runs. You never want to see that. He still had 9 strikeouts in that game. The strikeout numbers have been off the chain for him this season. He's still got a .81 whip, a 2.61 ERA. He's 4-0 this season, and in all 5 games that he's pitched in, the Mets have won all 5 of those games. You know, Kyle Gibson, although he didn't give up an earned run last time against these Mets, still gave up 1 unearned run, and he had 5 walks in that ball game with only 3 Ks in 4 1/3 innings. I think the Mets wake up offensively here, and I think they back up Scherzer, so I just can't pass up this price we're getting with Mad Max. So I'll take the Mets on the money line. Next up, we see the Chicago White Sox taking on the Boston Red Sox, as we see Vince Velasquez and Nathan Avaldi taking the mound for this one. Now, we see Vince Velasquez coming off a really good start against the Angels last time out, and he only has a 4.58 ERA, which is not too bad for a guy towards the end of this rotation, but there is a reason why his expected ERA is 6.17. He's had issues with the walks. He's had issues with the home runs, especially home run ball, especially in his career. You know, he's only at 1.53 home runs per night, which is still not very good, but lower than what he had last year at 2.19. I don't expect that to last very long. And we mentioned Nathan Avaldi last time he pitched, and I said a 30% home run to fly ball ratio is not going to last for Avaldi. I know he struggled with the home run ball, but I do expect that number to shrink. And last time out, 7 innings of shutout baseball for him, 8 strikeouts against the Orioles. The White Sox have struggled against right-handed pitching this season. I know the Red Sox have been inconsistent, especially that bullpen, but at Fenway Park, I think Vince Velasquez is in trouble. It's a big hitter's ballpark. I wouldn't want to back him in this spot, so give me the Red Sox here on the money line. Next up, we see the Toronto Blue Jays taking on the Cleveland Guardians with Shane Bieber and Kevin Gausman as your starters. Now, both starters are in great form to start the season. Kevin Gausman, 2-1 with a 2.27 ERA. He's 4th in the American League in strikeouts with 41 Ks in 31 2/3 innings, a .98 whip. He hasn't given up a single walk all season long. Shane Bieber, on the other hand, 2.45 ERA this season, a .95 whip. He's coming off an outing of 7 innings of 1-run baseball with 7 strikeouts in a 3-1 Cleveland win. You know, I think this game is going to be a low-scoring game, but when you look at the Cleveland Guardians, #1 in baseball in team OPS against right-handed pitching, it's really hard not to take the plus money with them as the home dog here. I do think that their offense can benefit from facing a righty yet again on Friday. So give me the Guardians as the dog here, getting the plus money on the money line. Next up, we see the Milwaukee Brewers taking on the Atlanta Braves. Now, this is another one of those games where we don't see a starting pitcher for the Atlanta Braves, therefore no official line out yet for this game. But, you know, with the way the Brewers have looked as of late, I know they played the Reds, and who hasn't beat up on the Reds recently, but still, you know, their offense woke up out of nowhere. I mean, this was a team that was about so-so offensively to start the season. You know, we saw some signs of life here and there, but against the Reds, they just went off. They scored 6 runs in the first game, 18 runs in the next game, 10 runs in the final game of that series. And now with Eric Lauer on the mound, who's pitched so well for Milwaukee, I got to take the Brewers here on the road. I just think there's tremendous value with Milwaukee, the way they've looked as of late. You know, the Braves, their bullpen's been so-so this season. You know, and also, you know, they haven't been great at home. They're only 6-7 at home. Who would have thought, you know, having a losing record at Truist Park this point in the season? The Brewers are 8-4 on the road this season. Give me the Brewers on the money line in this spot. In our next game, we see the Detroit Tigers taking on the Houston Astros with Bo Briskey and Luis Garcia as the starters for this game. Now, Bo Briskey is a guy that I'm optimistic about going forward in his career, but I just haven't been impressed with him in the first few starts of his major league career. 5.4 Ks per nine is just not going to get it done for me, especially when you have a 2.7 home runs per nine as well. You know, that 3.6 ERA from him looks good on paper, but a 6.99 FIP has me really scared for him in this spot, especially against an Astros team that is probably playing their best baseball right now. We saw him sweep the Mariners at home. The offense started to pick things up. The pitching staff did really well, the bullpen included. And with Altuve back in the lineup, this team is even better. So I'm going to take the Astros here on the money line. I think they take care of business in this one. Next up, we see the Oakland Athletics taking on the Minnesota Twins with Cole Irvin and Josh Winder as your starters. Now, I do think my expectations for Josh Winder going into the season were a little bit too low, as he has pitched well in 2022 thus far. He's pitched 16 1/3 innings, has a 2.2 ERA. You know, I'd like to see the strikeouts rise a little bit, but, you know, a 3.63 xFIP, not too bad for a guy like Winder towards the back end of this Twins rotation. And Cole Irvin on the other side, sure, that ERA does look pretty low. 2.93 on paper looks solid, but a 4.54 FIP this year, 4.43 expected ERA. That stems from his lack of missing bats, 5.86 Ks per nine. He's given up some home runs as well this season, and I do think he is in trouble against a pretty good Twins lineup that's hit lefties well. While on the other side, the Oakland A's have really struggled against right-handed pitching, 29th in baseball in team OPS against righties this year. To me, it's all Twins in this spot, so I'm going to lay the run line with Minnesota. Next up, we see the Washington Nationals taking on the Los Angeles Angels. Now, again, no official starter out for the Angels for this one, so no line out yet. But I am going to take the Angels on the money line here. If the price is a little bit too steep, I'll probably sprinkle some on the run line as well. The Angels have done well against right-handed pitching this season. That's what they're going to see in Yoan Adon in this start. And Adon, 9 earned runs allowed in his last 8 innings of work. The walks have been an issue for him. We've seen him give up too many home runs as well this season. And I just don't trust him on the road against a really good Angels lineup. Angels are probably going to go with a bullpen game here, but the bullpen's pitched well this season. So give me the Angels on the money line / the run line. Next up, we see the Colorado Rockies taking on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Chad Cole and Merrill Kelly on the mound for this contest. Now, I got to admit, I was wrong about this Diamondbacks lineup. You've heard me say plenty of times, especially if you watch the beginning of Ron's rundown, I said this is the worst lineup in baseball. They can't hit. Well, they're starting to hit lately. I mean, in that Miami series, the offense woke up completely. And I've been really impressed with this Diamondbacks team. Their pitching staff is really strong. With Merrill Kelly on the mound for this one, 2-1 with a 1.27 ERA. Through 28 innings, he's got a 1.27 ERA. 26 strikeouts, hasn't given up a single home run yet this year. He's the best starter in this Diamondbacks rotation, and we're getting the Diamondbacks at home here at a pretty good price. I do like to fade the Rockies on the road. I like taking them a lot better at Coors Field, especially in this spot where they're coming from Coors Field on Friday night or on Thursday night. They're going to have to play the Diamondbacks in Arizona on Friday. I think this is a good spot to take the Diamondbacks here on the money line. Next up, we see the Miami Marlins taking on the San Diego Padres. Sandy Alcantara and Udarvish, the starters for this one. Now, this is a tough game for me. Both pitchers I do like this season. The only thing that scares me a little bit with the Marlins and Sandy Alcantara, his strikeouts numbers are down this year. Only 7.55 Ks per nine. I know he's naturally a pitch-to-contact guy, but last year his Ks per nine was 8.8, a lot higher than 7.55. And the walks are also up this year, 4.06 walks per nine. That puts his FIP at 4.22. It's a little steep for me. The Padres lineup, although it hasn't been the best against righties, at home with Darvish on the mound, I do like their chances in this spot. The price isn't the best with San Diego here, having to lay that money line price, but that's where I'm going to lean for this contest. I'm going to take San Diego money line. Next up, we see the Tampa Bay Rays taking on the Seattle Mariners with Josh Fleming and Logan Gilbert on the mound for this contest. Now, I think the books are being a little sneaky with this one. We see the line opening up at Seattle minus 125 here. And with Gilbert on the mound, who's 4-0 with a .64 ERA, you'd expect that price to be a little bit steeper, anywhere near minus 140, 150. Did a little digging on Gilbert, not much to say in terms of negative things about him, but the only thing that I did notice is Gilbert is giving up a lot of hard contact this year. He's in the bottom 35th percentile in average exit velocity and hard hit percentage, which does tell me that he is probably in store to give up a few more home runs in his next few starts, or at least down the road this season. Josh Fleming, we've seen him struggle at times this year, especially last time out against the Twins. But I do think that he is a much better pitcher than what his ERA may suggest. He's got 16 Ks in 15 2/3 innings. He's only given up 2 home runs, isn't too bad. 6 walks isn't too bad either. And against the Mariners lineup that hasn't looked good as of late, especially in that Astros series where they scored a combined 2 runs in 3 games. I think the Rays are going to win this game, and I think we're getting a great price with Tampa Bay here. They're starting to heat up, and I like them on the money line here. In our final game of the night, we see the St. Louis Cardinals taking on the San Francisco Giants. Jordan Hicks is the projected starter for St. Louis. We don't have an official starter out for the Giants quite yet, so no official line yet either. In this game, I'm just going to take a lean with the Giants at home on the money line. They hit righties very well this year, top 10 in baseball in team OPS against righties, a 7.05 team OPS. Jordan Hicks, we've seen mixed results with him as the opener. Last time out, though, 2 home runs allowed in only 3 1/3 innings. And that does worry me quite a bit, especially when you add in 2 walks in that start as well. His last 5 1/3 innings, he's given up 4 earned runs and 2 home runs, 4 walks as well. And the Giants have hit righties well, so I'm going to take a shot with them here on the money line. Both bullpens really haven't impressed me this season, but I think the Giants do just enough to win this game. And that's it. Those are the games for Friday, May 6th. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. And don't forget to leave your baseball picks in the comment section below. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pickdawgz Premium. As always, this is Ron Romanelli. Good luck.